Hi there, it's Susie at First Floor Flat, and I thought I'd show you my new journal that I've just made. Now this one is an unusual one. It's a junk journal. It also has a paste paper painted finish. So it's unusual in that I'm opening it from here, not from the edge like people normally do. So at the front here, this is actually a latex lace which I've had made for me by my wonderful friend Araceli, because she actually sent me the video on how it's done, and if I can find that again I'll link it for you. So she did it. I've since had a go myself, and it's not that difficult, but this intricate lace, I didn't have a mould like that, so I'm very pleased she made it for me. Right, so a little vintage photo here, a little bit of lace there, over another little remnant of the latex lace, and Create Mischief. And then on the back, as you can see, this is actually one of my paste paper finishes where I've stamped into it with a foam stamp, a generic foam stamp. It was actually a kid's one, and it's taken the paint out. So it's a good hard wearing cover, and it can be wiped if it has to be wiped, if somebody spills or something. So here, this is a little embellishment. It's a metal tassel with a little diamante in the centre, and this is a hitch fastener from Tim Holtz. So opening it up, there you go, you can see the rest of it, more of that stamping. So that's an entire strip of that latex lace. And here I've got tea dyed, a little bit of coffee dyed, and I've also stenciled over with stencil paste, and this is rice paper. So going into the inside, first page, so this is where I've actually done a bit of tea dyeing over, where I've actually gone in and stenciled with a texture paste, and I've used the same stencil that I used on the back cover for more texture paste on the top, so this hasn't taken the colour, whereas this has. So a strip here of my stenciled paper and hand painted paper with a doily and a tag. So that's making a tuck spot, and that's a little embossed wages envelope, I think they call them. So that just tucks in here. Now that's quite plain because I've left it for you to decorate, so that's backed with tea dyed paper, and I've punched with a Euro fastening there. Right, going on to the next page, we've got black lace. This is actually a lace stamp, more tea dyeing. This is on watercolour paper, and I really squeezed a tea bag directly on it as opposed to dipping straight in and out. So this is where you've got the heavier stains. It's very, very textural. So this is a pocket. More of the staining here, and I used an acrylic paint there. And there's some lace on the edge, covered with a tiny thin bit of braid. So this is a little pocket here, which will undo for you to put anything in that you want, with a little tag front. I've added lace and a tag and a bit of a tea stain doily there. So again, great for you to put your little goodies in. Right, this is a double-paged black paper on here. I've lace edged it all the way round. That's fabric, and it's stitched. That's the stitching from here. You can't see the decorative stitching this side, but you can see the decorative stitching that side. And an envelope I've made which flips out with tea stained paper. This is washi tape, lace and lace, so that's perfect for you to journal on, or use it as an envelope if you glue the sides together. So that tucks back in that pocket. This is coffee dyed paper. Again, I've stitched all the way around and in the middle. So that's made two separate areas for tags with a little bit of lace at the top. They're both shaped, but they're different shapes, because I think that's a lot more fun. Turning that over, that makes a tuck spot, which is the reverse of that. You can just see the stitching here, more lace here. And this makes a little booklet. This is tea dyed paper, this is coffee dyed paper, this is tea dyed paper. So that opens out, and again you've got a little tuck spot here. That was actually a coffee dyed envelope using one of those plastic mats which makes the pattern. So there we are. Then this is a little paper flip, a little bit of washi there, so that's various little bits and pieces for you to journal on, because I think when you've got very dark paper like this, you can't journal on it so easily unless you happen to have a good white pen which is opaque. So you've got that. Right, vintage sheet music and more coffee dyeing, and that's another flip. So I've just punched 2 holes. That's with a standard hole punch like you'd buy in an office, find in an office. So you can easily make more for this if you use them up. That's tied on with a little bit of black seam binding. And again you've got some various papers for journaling on, including watercolour paper, which is very heavyweight. Right, this is a Fabriano Artistico paper. Another piece of tea dyed paper, heavyweight watercolour paper, which has actually been gessoed on one side. In fact, I'm wrong, this is canvas. This is a canvas paper, because it's a couple of weeks since I've opened this and I'd forgotten what I actually used. That's actually a canvas paper which is pre-gessoed that side and a nicer, smoother side that side. More coffee dye paper, another piece of the canvas. Then this one is a little envelope with a little bit of a tie on the edge of the paper clip, and that just clips onto the edge of this sheet music, like so, or wherever else you would like to put it. A little doily, little bit of lace and a butterfly. So that's that one. Oh, I've just closed that up, that was clever. Right, so that's the centre page. I've double knotted but also tied in a bow, so if you want to undo that and put a dangly instead, you can do. You know, it all depends on what you want to use. I'll just pop that back. So that brings us to the middle. It's a single signature. So that's the canvas paper, the coffee dyed, the canvas paper, another one. The Fabriano. Now this one is an extended page. It was A4 tea dyed and I wanted it to be longer, so I've glued at the back and then I've simply stitched through by hand on that side. So you've got the sheet music backed with the tea dyed paper plus the paper, so there you are. So that gives you a really interesting finish there. And on this side, black paper again. I've done a little bit of stenciling with an oxide ink just to bring the colour out. Again, a tuck spot, nice big tag stitched all the way around with lace. So that's all ready for you to decorate. The reverse of it with an interesting hole punch thingy, and another double pocket, so those will just tuck inside like that. Black lace here, stitched all the way around, stitched here as well, which then brings me to the other side. Can you see where I've been fiendishly clever? This is a little strip of coffee dyed paper, so I stitched through the middle right to that edge, then I've glued on that side, and that's made that a little belly band, and again you've got lace here. This one opens out, so that flips right out. This is again a heavyweight watercolour paper, and I mean heavyweight. So again tea dyed, as you can see, stitched by hand, so that flips over there. Lace on here, bringing it back over here, which makes this huge pocket. So you've got this as a triple flip. I'll just bring that over. So that's a triple flip page, again all hand stitched at the top with the black seam binding. But from that side, where you see the stitching, that becomes the pocket on this side. Then tucked in here, I've got an interesting pocket fold, which is a triple, This actually deconstructs like this. It's a long piece of A4 paper which you fold in half long ways, and then you fold it up. So that comes down as a pocket and that comes down as a pocket. This is tea-dyed paper and it's got a little bit of gesso on it. So in here I've got a watercolour paper tag, another watercolour paper tag, and that is a craft card tag. So that could be glued to a page. So that would make then another pocket at the back if you wished, or tip it in anywhere that you want. Oh, I'll pop you back in the front. That's better. That makes the three. I haven't glued those edges down to keep it as a pocket in case you want to put something else in or add lace on the edge. So as I said, we go back here, so we've got that triple fold. Very heavyweight watercolour paper again, tea dyed, which is bringing us to the back. This is the rice paper which matches this rice paper and on the seam there. And this is cotton lace, more lace, and this is I think gesso. And then that's another little envelope. Did I put anything in? Oh, I did. Yeah, so you've got a Project Life card, but I just happen to like that one. Life is good. So there you are, journaling card, little thumb hole. So that tucks in. This was coffee dyed again with the mats. So how that works is you wet your surface, put a piece of paper down which you've also wet and dipped in coffee. So everything's not sopping wet, but it's damp, and then you lay a mat on top. Then here I actually poured a little bit more coffee in, and it goes in all the holes and nooks and crannies, and Bob's your wassit. Right, final pocket. This is another little booklet for you to write on. So on the back of it you can see all the stitching here, which is there holding that cotton lace on. I've got a little band holding two little tea dyed tags. It's worse than going to holidays when you pack up a suitcase and everything fits when you go in, and then when you come back you can't get anything in, and that is washi tape. Anyway, there they tuck, and then you've got these pages also for writing on. And the reason you have the washi on the back is to match this here, because I made, yes, another pocket, and yes, this is another tea stain tag. So they all tuck nicely into there. So that is a journal which is mostly plain for you to put plenty of artwork in. With these watercolour papers, of course, you can do anything with them, whether you want to use acrylics, palette knives, brushes, inks, watercolour paint, draw, doodle, whatever you want. This is an absolutely lovely journal. I really enjoyed making it, and I hope whoever this goes to, they have an absolute whale of a time. Anyway, there it is, and thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.